brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I'm Pastor John McLean. I would like to say I'm here with Mr. Andreas Ruiz, but he's not taking a sabbatical. No, Tom. He is actually speaking to the kids about mental health today. I can't remember exactly at what elementary school, but he actually works with Samba, S-A-M-B-A, dancing, yes, to teach kids, go around different schools teaching kids about mental health, anxiety, depression, and how these things exist, and how it's okay to talk about them, and how not only is it okay, you should go talk to your counselor about it. Particularly a big story that he likes to tell me, and I'll try not to eat too much of our awesome guest time in telling this, is about how regularly he has kids come up to him and say, man, your story, what you just told me, really made me reconsider suicide. And I was thinking about possibly killing myself, and I now I can go talk to the counselor, and I got other ideas and other tips. So he will be missed, but I will try to do double duty here in studio. I got some awesome guests, and my boy Raul Garza from Energious Marketing, and then I also have one of my, he's starting to become my close friends. I'm gonna start just accidentally bump into him at the grocery store just so we can hang out more. And his name's Patrick Lopez. He's the vice president of MPG Automotive, and it was weird. I was seeing another kind of bromance form right before the show started, because we got two PHP heads here in studio that are just talking about using all kinds of jargon that I felt I only halfway understood, but I've done a few websites in my day, so yeah, I'm hip to lingo, and that's also kind of why I'm a little bit fanboying over our first guest today on the show, Raul Garza with Energious Marketing, who, when I first met him at the Arizona Sands Club, that's SANDS, not SAMS, like everybody I tell about. They think that I'm going doing some bulk shopping every time I tell them I'm going to the business networking club that is the Arizona Sands Club, that's inside the U of A football stadium. And me and Raul met there, and cool guys, just a man of my own heart, just like Patrick said before the show, where he's a marketing guy, so he I think we kind of got along in that. But I think at that time, probably a little over a year ago now, he was talking about a project he was kind of in the middle of, at the beginning of building a web design, tell me the wording.
A website builder.
Okay, website builder. Yeah. And then I was I wasn't quite sure the makeup of that, because definitely if it was my big dream brain thought, it was something pretty special that you're onto. And now today, I think maybe 3 weeks ago, a month or so ago, you sat down and you showed me everything. You built me a little website real quick.
Yes.
Off the idea, and it was pretty impressive.
Thank you.
Super duper impressive. So, without further ado, I will introduce our guest, Raul Garza. Thank you for being here today, brother.
Thank you for having me here, John. I really appreciate the time that you've taken out of your schedule to invite me to your radio show.
I actually, they make me do it every single week this time. So, yeah, I protested against it, but like you saw Andreas and Dr. J get out, but not me today. I have to be here. But yeah, for sure. But so for those who don't know who Enerjoust is, and just this whole idea, kind of for those who've never heard of it, which we talked about it a lot before we even started the show, that's the challenge now. We're in an elevator. People want to know, what is this? Tell me, I want to buy in, but I don't have much time. What is it?
All right. Well, I guess I'll tell you a little bit about my background story. I moved here in 2014 from California, from
Nice.
Los Angeles. And when I moved in here, I didn't know anyone. I didn't have many friends. I didn't know anyone in business, most certainly. And a year later, I decided to start my marketing agency with 0 clients. And so that was very difficult, however, not impossible. And I was determined to make an impact. In my career, I had experienced Fortune 500 level marketing strategies that I saw from my previous employer. I worked in the electrical engineering industry, in the semiconductor industry. And I got to see what they did. And when I moved to Tucson, I got to see what small businesses were doing to market their businesses. And I said, whoa, there's a huge difference in the way they market and in the way small businesses market. I feel like I can bridge the gap. However, it took a lot of time studying and reaching out to business owners here in town. And but anyways, that was the main driver for me to start my own marketing agency, because I saw that gap between the small business owners marketing strategies and the large companies marketing strategies. And I said, I need to build a bridge. I feel like I can improve this, because if we strengthen the small business community, the overall economy will improve. So over the years, I've focused mainly on helping small business owners market their businesses, whether it is through direct advertising, through traditional media or digital media, creating websites, producing videos with a production team. And, well, that whole idea of helping them pushed me and put me on the spot to evolve into the next phase in my business. Which was I realized that I depended too much on templates that I needed to purchase from online marketplaces. I depended too much on the tools that larger companies developed in order for me to produce my services. And I didn't like that. I felt like I could somehow maybe create something that anybody could use, something that people would really truly benefit from, and if not, at least I can benefit from it. And that's what started me going on into software development. I am self-taught. I mean, I'm a type of person that believes that, in this day and age, we have all of the resources at our disposal, literally in our fingertips, right in front of our eyes. All we need to do is come up with an objective of what we want to learn, type it in, and find the resources that will help you, achieve your objectives. So it took a lot of years for me to get to where I'm at right now. And I'm not nearly where I want to be yet. So even though I've gone a long way from coming here with no contacts, starting my own business, having great friends like you, and among other great business people here, but I feel like this is just getting started.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, we will talk about all that and more with Raul Garza after this break. This is the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission, and brought to you by Tucson International Academy and La Frontera and PEP and MPG Automotive and Gap Ministries. And I mean, who else? I have to look at stuff. Ironwood Dental, North Star Hyperbaric, Tucson Roadrunners, Veteran Thrift, Action Printing, Print and Copy. Let's see, we got another side there. Who else we got? Let's say that's it for now. Thank you, everybody. All the support, all the amazing sponsors, all the amazing organizations, people, volunteers that continue to make this happen, continue to give us the ability to connect veterans with housing and help them get to the next point. Because that's really what it's all about. Like all this kind of stuff, including, I don't know how we haven't even mentioned this yet, the Marine that we have in studio with us today.
Hoorah.
That in the name of Raul Garza. Yeah. So it's like, it's super awesome how kind of like a lot of this work that we do, at least for me, it all just kind of goes back into kind of like that veteran family that we have, and like what we can do to kind of continue to love on those who served us.
Yeah. That definitely caught my attention. You're always wearing your veteran hat, and then what does it say, OIF?
Yeah.
Iraq War. Yeah, I was in OIF too. So
Yeah. Well, I think we were there at the same time.
you think so?
Yeah. I think so. When were you there?
2003.
Yeah, 03 to 05, right? You were there 03 to 04.
Nice.
Yeah, right?
I was there in 03.
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl.
Huh.
So yeah, only for 3 months, and then they
really?
shipped us back.
Man. Yeah. Yeah, I was there for 18 months. I got there March of 03. And yeah, I just hung out in Kuwait. I remember being in Kuwait watching on like the Air Force News George Bush give the statement to Saddam, letting him know he had 48 hours to get out of Iraq or we were coming in. So that was weird. It was a weird feeling being in Kuwait and kind of being one of the cats knocking at the door saying, hey, we're coming in. And we went in. You know, it was wild. So thank you. Thank you for your service once again,
Thank you for
bro.
your service, John.
It's fun to share those moments with you because and in a lot of ways I think that's one of the many things that's kind of continued to bond our friendship because if we don't have each other's back in this day and age at this point, like certainly there ain't nobody else that's gonna come knocking on your door and say, hey, I'm here to help. So you gotta have each other's back. So I appreciate you having my back. I try to have your back the best I possibly can, man.
Appreciate you, John.
Yeah. So on a much funner note, so tell us more about Energious Marketing and tell us about what you came here to tell the world about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically the great progress that I made, at least personally and also professionally, is that Energized, or I created a tool that allows anyone to create a website in about 5-6 minutes, assuming that you have all the pictures ready to go. And if you don't, then don't get intimidated. You can still go through the workflow and it'll still create an amazing website with images that are stock photography, and you can always change them later on. The main idea for that is that small business owners are missing on a huge piece of the pie. Like a lot of businesses don't have websites. They don't have an online presence. Now there really is zero excuse for any business not to look professional. And I've heard the argument many times, Raul, you know what? I only use Facebook or I only use Instagram. That's where the business is at. But when people are searching for a product or service, they resort to Google. And that's where your website can actually play a key role by helping you populate in the first top 3, top 5 results, when people are searching for products or services. And even if you do populate in the top positions, if you don't have a website, then you're leaving people in the blind. What this website builder does, it just takes 5-10 minutes of your time, and you get a professional website as long as you can answer questions about what you do for you as a business. Trust me, you'll end up with a professional looking site because I'm applying all of the marketing principles that I apply for every single one of my clients. So you're talking about thousands of dollars worth of value here. It asks you some questions and it creates sentences. It even creates frequently asked questions on its own. So it's a great tool. And again, my main objective is just to help businesses, help them get to the 21st century, because we're already here, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that I guess are more important to realize too is that times are changing quickly. People are changing quickly. Not only do we see demographics changing quickly, which means that business will soon, or business is already not as it used to be 5 years ago. And that change is going to be constant for as long as there's people moving into Arizona, which I think it's a great thing for a great state. But if you don't adapt as a business owner to the changing times, and you're going to be taken out by the waves of change, and you're creating a gap for other businesses to take your spot. And I would like to prevent that. I would like to be the advocate for the local small business owners to stay competitive.
So people who want to get a site, what does the process look like?
The process is very simple. They can go to my site, TucsonAdvertise.com, and then click on the web design tab on the menu, and under that I have a tool called BZFly. It's an option. From there, you'll click a link that says try for free, and then they can go ahead and register online, answer some questions, some contact information questions about their business, upload a logo. If they don't have a logo, I'm gonna make a logo creator tool available within the platform, so that way they can go ahead and create their own logo. It's not similar to big time software companies, logo creators such as Adobe Photoshop or Illustrator, but it's something, because again, the objective is to help small businesses succeed. Once they finish the workflow in about 5-6 minutes, then they end up with minimum, 5-page website. And that's the home page, that's the service page, the contact page, the FAQs page, and a gallery. And all the resources are placed strategically the way I would place them.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely remember as we were sitting down at the Arizona Sands Club with the tablet, we kind of went through everything real quickly. It was super smooth. I'm guessing when we did that, is that what a person can expect when they go through the process?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's faster. If you go to my Facebook page, you can actually check out some demo videos where I'm making websites in a matter of minutes. And they look fast. They're not sped up. They're in real time. So yeah, it's a very smooth process because, well, most of my customers are advanced in their experience level. So I need to make tools that are user friendly.
For sure. So one more time, for people who want to get a hold of you, where do they go? How do they get a hold of you?
They can go to my website, TucsonAdvertise.com. And if they want to give me a call, my phone number is 877-219-0754.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you for coming on the show, brother.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Absolutely. The Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am still Pastor John McClain. I'm Pastor John McClain. Here, Sans Andreas Ruiz. He is teaching the children, so he is doing good for the world. We will give him up if he's teaching the children, nothing less. Like if he was like just watching a ball game or something like that, we'd be like, get in here now, come on. But yeah, we have. Unfortunately, he's not here because we have one of our buds here. I know you get along with Andreas really well too.
Yeah, he actually just came into the store. He got some work done on his vehicle.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. He hit me up the other day and he's like, "Hey, will Patrick Lopez will he square me away? Like, will they like do me right?" I'm like, "Yeah, what are you talking about?" But they took care of my transmission, man. Like, what more can you entrust in somebody? Like,
right.
It's really
the second most expensive part of the vehicle, right?
Yeah, it's like your engine and your transmission, like those two. If you put those in somebody else's hands, it's like you're letting them take your wife out on a date. That's some serious commitment right there.
Yeah, and I think he had a noise that he couldn't find, and it sounded like he was, not that he was throwing parts, but maybe he got some bad advice at some point in the process.
Yeah.
And I told him, at the very least, let me just tell you what it needs. You know what I mean? And I would do that for anyone. Let me tell you what it needs, so you don't go and waste your money. There's no point, because you get more frustrated, you start hating the car, and now you're in a car payment because you wanted to give up the whole bad exchange. And I'd rather just have him maintain the vehicle that he loves. So
and it's surprising, like, the relationship we have with vehicles. It's peculiar. It's just like, and it's like, it's almost like the relationship we have with stuff in general, where it's kind of like it highlights attributes. But yeah, I we also find ourselves in positions where you got to do what you got to do.
Look, I mean, a vehicle brings out anxiety in a lot of people. It's kind of like going to the doctor, going to the dentist. You regret it, or not regret it. You hate the feeling of like, I got to go there because there's something wrong with the vehicle, right? And from my perspective, I always tell people, wouldn't you rather know? And if you're going to keep driving it that way, great. That's your decision. But we're in the business of advising people what they need, not selling them or trying to get them sold on something, but telling you, hey, here's what you need so you don't stress about it.
Yeah.
And then let's try to get you some financing or whatever in the meantime to help you get it taken care of, or budget for it. So
how does that work? I've never done that before in my life, which I imagine I could have, should have, probably would have had to, but I just didn't. how does that even work to finance a part?
There's so many companies out there that are doing it. You know, we've all seen, like, if you've ever gone furniture shopping, which not everybody's gone furniture shopping, but if you've ever gone furniture shopping, right, you walk in there and they say, you know, are you going to be paying for this, or do we need to get you financing? And all they do is have you fill out an application, and then they tell you approved or denied, right? The nice thing in automotive is there's so many options that even if you have, you know, good credit, there's an option for that that's obviously going to cost you less over time. But if you have no credit or bad credit, there's plans out there for you. So the number one plans that we use for somebody who maybe has okay credit to bad credit, or even somebody who has good credit, we use Snap Financing and Easy Pay. Those I think a lot of people have heard about. Maybe they haven't seen what they're about.
No, man, this is you are telling me all about it. I mean, I almost wish that there were signs in stores, like when you went in there, that said in the back that said financing available and stuff like that. Yeah, you know,
it's one of those things that we always tell people, because the nice thing that these companies do is they say like 90 days, same as cash, or 100 days, same as cash. We always tell people, if you can pay it off in that 90 days, this is a fantastic option for you, because why put out the cash out of your pocket now when you can pay it out over the 90 days and it not hurt your budget as much, right? We always advise them to do it within that time. Obviously, there's plans for 12 months, you know, longer term financing contracts, but it's great. I mean, Easy Pay and Snap are simple. I send you a text to your phone. You go through the process of filling out your employment information and your income. And as long as you have a checking account, generally they'll give you an answer, yes or no, and how much. And then let's see what we can do on the vehicle, or maybe we do all of it, or just whatever's going to help alleviate that anxiety from you, because now you have some financing to back up what you're needing done on your car.
That's interesting, man. That's the wireless thing is how I've never even realized that was an option. But did you know it was an option, Tom, in there? Tom's never heard about it. Yeah, so that's just maybe I'm giving you a little trinket today, kind of to keep that in mind. Just kind of. Granted, I'm sure. I mean, I've seen how your people operate. Like you got a well-oiled machine over there. It's cool. You got some amazing people, and I like to, even when we drop off our editorials at different places, I like going in there because it's like one of the only places I can go and still see what customer service feels like.
Yeah, hopefully they shoot the breeze with you, man. They're fantastic people just to talk to.
Super nice.
So.
And just being nice. Like, where did that go?
I don't know.
What happened to people just being nice?
Right? Customer service is the new commodity. You know, I'm not saying price and time don't matter. They always matter. But if you go into a restaurant and somebody just treats you like a human being right now, that's kind of like, okay, I'm going to tip them extra. I'm going to come back here more often, right? And I know that we have good people, and so I always just tell them, be yourself. Really communicate with the customer. Treat them like you would as if it was your mother's vehicle, your vehicle, your children's vehicle, because at the end of the day, it's somebody's kid, somebody's mother, somebody's father. So you know, treat them like a human being that's trying to make a big decision, and help them any way you can. So.
Yeah, that's it, man. Well, that's cool. And I feel like I don't even want to start the subject that we're going to be in on the second half of the show, but what's coming, like the big things that are happening within MPG Automotive right now? I know we always, as we should, talk about the $10
guaranteed for life parts. Absolutely. I mean, that's still in full swing. You know, it's a great opportunity for people to make sure that when they pay for their repair, they don't have to keep paying for it year after year, that the parts just naturally break down, right? Yeah, and just to re-clarify, for those who don't know, who hadn't heard MPG Automotive on before and heard about the $10 part guarantee, is any part on the car, you pay $10 and that part is guaranteed for its life. Which is genius. Yeah, and it's great because it helps us build a relationship with you, because it's stressful to come in and pay for that repair once. It's even more infuriating to pay for it 3 times over, 4 or 5 years, right? It's better. Let's just guarantee it. And then you come into me, let's inspect that part, make sure it's still operating properly, at least 12 months, 12,000 miles, and maybe service it if it needs it. But other than that, then we'll send you on the way. And when it's time that part fails, because we know it will eventually, right? They don't build them to last forever. Then it's not going to come out of your pocketbook.
Yeah, you should create a system that makes it so it works forever.
Yeah.
This is the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I'm Pastor John McClain. I am not here with Andreas Ruiz, the author of the blueprint on how to turn goals into achievement and Morning Warrior Secrets, morning rituals for health, happiness, and wealth. He's not here. He's teaching the children about mental health. You just get me, Pastor John McClain, the author of Dear Lion, Homelessness Explained to Kids, and Dear Alyssa, How to Guide to Social Change. And also I'm featured in a documentary called Here Comes That Dreamer. So if you are interested in any of that stuff, go to veteranrescuemission.org. We'll point you in the right direction. And I'm here with a very impressive man in his own reign. His name is Patrick Lopez. He is the vice president of MPG Automotive. And I also have learned that he is a computer nerd. Tell us about it.
Yeah, on the spot. Tell me everything you've done. Yeah,
you know about computers.
No,
Go.
I definitely am.
Yeah.
I come from an economics background, so operational efficiency is what I live, breathe, and sleep. And technology is such a big part of my life. I mean, this phone that I have is attached to me 24/7, and so I try to put it to use.
Yeah, for sure.
So
for sure, and just
programs for that.
Thinking about good operational programs. Tell me about just the success of a program that you and Gap kind of have had to kind of put on hold for now, as I know Gap is making a big shift from their old location to the new, what's the new place
They're
called?
calling it the campus, I believe.
Campus of Hope,
yes.
I think it is, yeah. The new Campus of
It's
Hope.
impressive.
Yeah. But I think, how many, 2 cohorts that you guys went through?
We've gone through 4 or 5 at this point, I believe. Yeah.
And so tell us about, some of the success stories of the cohorts, and just update us. I know it's like the last time we had you on the show, which it seems like several months at this point. We were discussing it briefly, but I know a lot has passed since then.
Yeah. I don't know. We've probably had 2 cohorts go since that time. So my bad. I should have been here more.
Yeah, well, you're a busy guy. You got a whole bunch of stuff. Well, that's the thing about being creative, is like you think of all these new ideas that you have to implement.
Oh yeah, create new projects for myself.
For sure.
No, it's all good stuff. I mean, we're fortunate that we partnered with Gap Ministries to teach people that are down on their luck or maybe need an opportunity to start a career, and we now have had 9 students graduate. 7 of them are still employed with us,
nice.
Which is fantastic. And look, the ones that aren't is because we gave them an opportunity and they found an even better opportunity in their dream career field, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole goal, was to give people a career. And so you and I were talking about the most recent one, put to the test if I really was going to do it just for one individual. And I told myself that, God gave us an opportunity to help those less fortunate. And if it meant that I just helped one person, then it would be worth it for me. And in week 6, we only had 1 person left, but this individual had a fantastic story and was trying to do something with his life. Even if he didn't have a good story, I still would have done it. But it really solidified that, hey, I was making the right move. He was under 21 years old when he started the program, homeless, didn't grow up with a father figure, and didn't even know how to drive a car. Didn't know anything about cars, only rode the bus to everywhere he needed to go or walked. So he was not familiar with any of that. And 10 weeks later, he knows how to do oil changes, shock strut replacements, knows how to do vehicle alignments, change out the brakes, all the fluids. I mean, this kid is I say kid, he's an adult, but he has really improved and shown that he can make a career out of this. And right now, probably as we're speaking, he's learning how to drive in one of our parking lots because we have a loaner vehicle that we're trying to maybe even give to him because he's put the effort into changing his life, and so we want to help him continue that. So, but it's fantastic for him to go from homeless, jumping from couch to couch, to now he has a career and maybe a car, and I think he even got some help from some state funding programs so that he has an apartment. So it's a great turnaround story, and I was willing to put in the work, and I'm glad he was as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like as you're saying it, like I'm just having so many different thoughts. Because one, we just had Raul leave the studio, so just the juices and creativity was flowing, and an idea that he and I have been speaking about kind of came to mind as you were speaking. Because like you described this young gentleman as a kid, which rightfully so, because in a lot of ways you've taken on a fatherly position to him.
Honestly,
like the way you describe what he knows now and what you guys taught or what you made possible from taught, like that's the stuff my dad taught me. And that's and in a lot of ways I'm teaching him how to be a dad. I'm teaching him how to teach his kids how to do these things and how to take care of his family and how to how to be a man. So like what you were describing, like partially was part of what Raul and I was describing, was like a dad university. Like a place, like a mainframe location where people can learn how to be a dad. Where people can kind of feel comfortable with all the challenges that come along with being a dad.
I think there's kind of an inherent stigma that you just treat them like how to be a man, and everyone should know how to be a man, and there's one way to be a man, and it's antiquated in the sense that some people just didn't grow up with a father, or maybe even an abusive father, and they don't know how to treat a child, and if that existed, I'm sure that would help out quite a bit. I think there's even those videos online of people like how to change your oil and how to that's why I liked when we were doing the car care tips, right? It's I'm not telling you exactly how to do it, but I would love if there were more resources like that, just for people in general, like, how to actually take care of yourself after you are thrown out in the world.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just, and we were talking about it a little bit during the break, where it's just like, and you're, as you were saying, you were challenged with the notion, okay, if it was really, Lord, if it's really one person who I'm supposed to affect their life, and do all this work, all this energy, all this planning, all these meetings, all this stuff that I had to go through, if it's really one people, I'm going to find out. And the cool thing about it is seeing a miracle, it changes your life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And because the crazy thing about miracles is, like, they don't happen every day. I mean, in my opinion, even more rare than car accidents. You don't just see them every day. So you when you do see them, it's hard to not pause and go, okay, how can I do that more?
Yeah, let's do that again. Exactly.
Yeah.
No. I mean, you're right. I mean, like I've said so many times on this show, I mean, we're just trying to give back to the community. In situations like this, just make it even easier. Now it's almost like that rush, like you talked about. How can I go do that again? How can I go help somebody who has nothing and give them something that they can have forever, right? It's kind of like, the proverb saying, teach a man to fish, or give a man a fish, he'll feed him for the day. Teach a man to fish, he'll feed him for life. I really take that to heart. If you could teach them how to fish, and in this case, teach them how to be an automotive technician, then even if they don't work with me, for me, X, Y, and Z, they'll have that skill for the rest of their life that they can make some money on. And hopefully he'll never have to be homeless again because he has a skill that he can make money off of. So, and a lot of it is on him that he has to do the work. And look, he has, right? That's what you want from people. You want to give them the tools to succeed and then watch them use it. And it's fantastic to see that he's doing that. And it's funny, you talked about the fatherly figure. Yeah, I think of it kind of like that. And matter of fact, the technician he's paired with now is treating him like his son. I'm going to teach him how to drive. I'm going to pick him up in the morning because he still doesn't have a car, right? So I'm going to pick him up in the morning. I'm going to drop him off. I'm going to, just like any father would. Yeah. And he's not even his biological father, but he's saying that, look, this person is willing to put in the effort. As a human being, why wouldn't I give a little bit of effort that I have to spare to him as well? So yeah,
and just creating those systems and making that stuff possible, it's super cool. Yeah, I'm really, like, every time I have you on the show, and it's the same with Jason with Gap. I'm sure you probably feel that same way. Yeah. Every time I have you guys on the show, I'm just like, man, I got to hang out with these guys more because, like, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you guys are going to be doing some really cool, exciting stuff. And I'm gonna hopefully be there to watch along the way, because it's just like, yeah, it's just these energy you guys put off, this this ideas. And like I told him on the last time I had him on the show, it's like, it's interesting with guys like you, because we see these like old like Godfather movies, or these old movies where like you have sons that have real great dads, and it seems like in a lot of ways they live in the shadow of their dad. But that's not the case with you two. You two, in a lot of ways, you extend your father's shadows and you have your own shadows. So it's super cool seeing that, like, that dynamic, and like just how you can tell that there's a lot of like character, a lot of integrity that you guys have in yourselves to be able to do that. So
yeah, I mean,
really
look,
cool to see.
We're fortunate to even had a father figure, right? So we have maybe a leg up that some people don't have, and I don't take that for granted. I just take all the lessons he's given me and said, how can I build on them and give back to the people that have constantly given to me in my life, right? I've lived a very fortunate and blessed life, and I thank God every day for that. And so I know that if I were to just live it and take care of myself every day, that it wouldn't be fulfilling. So I need to give back, and I need to make sure that other people can have successes in their life, because what's the point of living and for yourself, not living for everyone else and so on. So
yeah,
that's great.
Sure. So I guess as we're going out, tell people how they can get a hold of MPG Automotive, and plug in with what you guys are doing.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, we're fortunate. We have plenty of locations around town, a lot around the corner, like you said. So, but they can reach us on Facebook, MPG Automotive Services, or even mpgautomotiveservices.com. We're going through a website rebranding, which is interesting that Raul came in for that. But yeah.
It's funny how God works. He has a sense of humor like that.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, that was Patrick Lopez, MPG Automotive.